Okay, so I hope this is coming in. You got volume and stuff like that. If there's anybody out there, could you please respond and let me know if you can hear me or anything? Let's see here. Just wanted to do a quick live feed and give anybody an opportunity to ask any questions or anything like that that they might have been wondering about. So, how's it going? Subfloors, thank you for responding. I'm glad you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. I guess while we're giving everybody a few minutes there, if this is my first official live feed, so I don't know how well it's going to go or how many people's going to log on there. So if anybody does have any questions, you can feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer to the best of my knowledge. So I guess, okay, good, loud and clear. So I am getting heard. So I guess I'll just start off, give some people a chance to get on here and tell you guys a little bit about myself. 40 years old. I started doing floor covering when I was 14, working for a guy, and I dropped out of school just like in the first 6 weeks of 7th grade. So actually 6th grade was the the last year that I completed. I've been doing floor covering ever since. Okay, there's a question. How much do we get paid per yard to install down there in Arizona? And that is from Harry Digler. It really depends on what kind of carpet it is. Just for an average run-of-the-mill regular action back carpet, we get paid $3.25 a yard. Naturally, it goes up. If it's soft back, it goes up 50 cents. If it's got a pattern, it goes up 50 cents. If it's Berber, it goes up 50 cents. So, but the bottom of the barrel carpet goes for $3.25 a yard. Again, I started doing this when I was 14. I worked for a guy till I was 19, and then I just bought tools and started working for myself since I was 19. And hello, Coachy Loco. Thank you for joining us. And Jerry, the guy that works for me, we've been friends since 6th grade. Whenever I moved in to Manchester, Tennessee, he was the first guy that I actually met and started hanging out with in 6th grade. So we've been friends ever since then, and he's helped me for, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 years off and on there. He's been consecutive now since we've been here in Tucson. I did have another guy for just a short, brief time, but mostly it's been Jerry with me. So, and the reason or how we came up with our name is whenever we did move out here to Arizona, everybody was talking about, oh, your accent, blah, blah, blah. It was all laughing and stuff about our accent, said we sounded funny and stuff like that. So, Coachy Loco said, I want more stretcher folder videos. I'm not sure what you mean by folder. We can definitely do more videos on stretchers. I don't know what you mean by folder, though. If you can have a little bit more explanation about that, I'm kind of lost on what you're getting at. What do you think about working under a big store like Home Depot or Lowe's? Freddie Lopez asked that. Freddie, I actually did work for Lowe's the first 2 years or so, maybe 2.5 years that I got here until I got in with another company. It was actually a lot of complications, a lot of too many chiefs and not enough workers going on there. Everybody was scatterbrained. Whenever we would have to go pick up our materials and stuff at Lowe's, they would it was hard. Almost every single day, I had a hard time picking up materials and stuff like that. Plus, working with a big box store like that, you get different types of clientele rather than now. I work with a family-owned business, and the clientele that buys from family-owned business and people that buy from big box stores such as Home Depot or Lowe's are totally different. You get, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to dog nobody or nothing, but it's a lot better working for a family-owned business. That's how I've always been. I only worked with Lowe's when I first moved here until I found something else. So, Subfloor says, Raleigh, North Carolina, all I do is glue down carpet, carpet tiles, and some hard surface work. Okay, that's cool. We do a lot. I do pretty much everything except for ceramic tile and stone. I don't do that. Hello, Warwick 23. Nice to see you from New Zealand. That's a long ways away. That's further so far, I guess. And Coachy Loco says, hi. I am a folder worker. Would you give me work? I'm not sure what folder worker means. I don't understand that. If you could be, I just don't understand what that means. Folder worker. Like I said, I only went through 6th grade, so all of my life I've just worked, and that's about it. So forgive me for not knowing what that means. It's probably something real simple, just used with a different term or something. So I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're getting at. And Freddie Lopez, Home Depot doesn't pay for quality of carpets. Yeah. As a matter of fact, on that note, I guess you're talking about quality of carpet installers. I guess I'm not sure, but I felt the same way because working for Lowe's whenever I first got here, it was kind of rough leaving regular prices and then working for them. It was like getting paid $2 an hour. I mean, $2 a yard, and that hurt because it was a major pay cut when I first started here. But I come to realize that it didn't matter what I was getting paid, so long as I went out there and give it all I got and treat every customer like I was making $1 million off of them. It made my job, even though it sucks because I was hardly making any money, with that mental attitude about the job of treating every job like I was making $1 million off of it. It made my life and my home life a lot easier, having a better attitude about my work. So it wasn't probably 6 months after I got that attitude about the work and started really getting in there and doing good, maybe 6 to 9 months, another job came along. So it was real good, and I think it was just reaping what I sow there. Not at all been boastful, but when my attitude changed about the job, that's when better opportunities came. So Harry Diggler, I do strictly apartment work, and there is a wood pattern vinyl that some apartments use, very thin product, and I can get that Gypcrete perfectly smooth with my patch. Sand it down, and that vinyl will still show everything. Is that the product's fault or my fault? Take pride in my work. I hate working with that junk wood vinyl. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the new fiberglass vinyl, if you'll look at it right off the row, it has little bumps on the back of it. And as a matter of fact, I have seen them show through myself. I don't know that you can do anything about that. You know, if it's absolutely killing you, maybe you could try to just save that little bump off the back of them. But there's so many. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have dealt with that issue myself, and you can only do what the product will let you do as far as that goes. If you do your part and then you can still see stuff, I really don't know what to say about that, because I've had the same issue myself, and I just kind of deal with it as it comes. So, Mohammed Juma, nice to see you live. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you do hardwood floors? Yes, I do. We live here in the desert though, so there's not a whole lot of actual wood that goes in because it dries out so bad and cracks all up and stuff. So real wood does not do good here in the desert. So most everybody does engineered wood, and it's a floating floor or something like that rather than an actual glue down wood or a nail down wood. When I lived in Tennessee, I did thousands and thousands of feet of the 3/4 inch true wood. So yes, we do that, but it's just not very common here. Maddie Lee 85, that wood grain vinyl is garbage. Yeah, uh, especially if it's got a real shiny gloss to it, that just makes everything show up a lot worse. So most of what I do, I don't do any apartments because I just don't. They don't really pay enough. So every once in a while, individual will buy something from the carpet store that I work with, and if they do, then it's cool because we get paid the regular price and stuff like that. But I don't just go out and do apartments. Here in the desert in Arizona, they just don't pay enough because they can get other guys to do it for cheaper. So yeah, Harry Diggler, tons of bumps. I don't know if it's tons. I don't know. Maybe you could. You sound like you're doing everything right as far as prepping and stuff like that. Maybe you could sweep and then run over the floor with a vacuum when you're done and get all the dust particles and stuff. What might be happening is if you're getting dust and you're whenever you sweep, you can get dirt and debris and stuff like that. But if there is dust and then it gets in your glue, I don't know if you ever noticed or not, maybe your dust is balling up and leaving little balls of dust on the floor whenever you're rolling it out there. So that might be something to think about there. Maybe you after you sweep it for your final time, maybe you can run the vacuum over it and get all the dust out so it don't clump up or get little dusty balls whenever you're spreading your glue there. Maddie Lee 85, you can prep it good and glue it good and it still shows crap. Huh. I don't know then. I don't know what to tell you on that then if both of you guys are having issues. Like I said, I just kind of deal with stuff as it comes myself. So Freddie Lopez, I power stretch the crap. I power stretch the crap stretcher. I haven't had any complaints. A lot of people say use the big power stretch. I power stretch with the crab stretcher. Oh my bad, not crab stretcher. Okay, well, if you're not having any problems out of that, I've never used the crab stretcher myself, and if you're not having any problems, that's fine by me. I've seen it on YouTube. It's not been interesting enough for me to switch from my original pole stretchers. I don't. To me, this is just my opinion. I said I would answer the questions to the best of my knowledge. So everything I say is just going to be my opinion from my personal experience of 26 years since I've been doing this. I just don't think you can get it any better than a pole stretcher myself, so I'm always going to use a pole stretcher. If you guys feel good with a crab stretcher and other stretchers like that, then if you're not having any complaints, I can't argue with it. So Harry Diggler, oh, he's talking to Maddie, okay. How did you get into the flooring profession? Well, when I was just dropped out of school, actually my dad took me out of school because I was getting in a bunch of trouble, and he was a minister and stuff like that. He actually pulled me out of school and attempted to homeschool me. My mom and dad did, but I was a little rebellious kid, so I never done any schoolwork. I only got back one report card from the company I was getting my school books and stuff from, and after that, it was nothing. I got the only report card I got back was completely blank because I never turned in any work. Anyway, the guy that lived beside us, turns out it was my wife's cousin. Of course, she wasn't my wife then because I was only 14, but her cousin actually had a shop right beside my mom and dad's house, and he drag raced boats and he did floor covering. Well, since he was right there all the time working on boats and stuff like that, I was able to get in cahoots with him and start out with him as a helper, just picking up scraps and stuff like that. And I don't know how long it took me of just picking up scraps and watching, being his gopher before I actually started. I think the first piece of carpet that I ever cut, I cut a vent out. Was my very first uh, carpet cut I ever did, was cutting out a vent for the floor. And that's how I got into that. I just stayed with him. He was patient enough because I was no good back then. I was all the time in trouble and stuff. And he actually fired me a few times. I quit a few times. It didn't matter. He always would let me come back. And I'm thankful for that. Because if he had been like most people, he would have just let me go and not put up with me. But he was kind and patient with me. So I appreciate that. I'm thankful for that because it's been a lifelong profession that I really enjoy. Like I said, I started with him at 14. Then when I was 19, I worked with him for 5 years. And turned out there toward the end of my career with him, he was not even coming to work or anything like that for about 9 months before I stopped working for him. And I was completely running his business and everything myself. Me and another guy, I was over him because I had been there longer, even though he was older than me. But he just let me have the keys to the van and all that stuff. So after I'd done it for about 9 months, I just thought it was foolish to keep working for him and making a percentage when I was doing everything myself anyway. I thought I might as well just work for myself since I'm already doing everything. So that's how I got started. And actually, the carpet store that I was working with under him actually was kind enough to buy all my tools and stuff like that. They spent like 6,000, I think it's about $6,000. It's been a long time, and bought all my stuff for me. And then I just paid them back a percentage as I worked with them, and until it was completely paid off. I had it paid off in like 6 months because I was giving them a lot of money every week. So we paid it off real quick, and then they let me use one of their vans there at Mills Floor Covering in Manchester. Let me use one of their vans, and I paid mileage on that. I think I paid like 25 cents a mile for every mile that I used in their van. So they was real kind, and I had a lot of help getting started because, like I said, I was a little rebellious 19-year-old when I started out on my own. But I started straight out on my own with, which is my wife now. We wasn't married, and 2 kids to raise at 19. So I'm glad that everybody was real good about helping here. Maddie Lee, how did you meet Jerry? I met Jerry in 6th grade, and that was actually the first year that I went to school once we moved to Manchester, Tennessee. And we just kind of become friends, and he was with me a lot. We always hung out together and stuff like that. And when like I said, I was 19 when I started for myself. So from there until we moved out here, which was back in 2010, he worked with me for maybe 2 or 3 years there while we lived in Tennessee, and the complete time since we've been here in Tucson. So let me see here what this says. Subfloors, check out my page on YouTube. Okay, I will definitely do that. Mohammed Juman, I'm in Ontario, Canada, and I work with Lowe's. Most of my jobs is laminate and vinyl clip, but I have a lot of problems with vinyl clip. Do you think vinyl clip is a good floor? Actually, if it's put together right, it's really, I don't want to sound like I'm putting anybody down or anything, but yes, I do like it. If it's put down proper, it really goes together really easy. And to me, that is the best floor for the money that you can put down because it just goes down so easy. You don't have to prep your floor out. Like if it was a glue down LVP, you can just click the stuff down right over the pad and it goes down really fast. And I don't know about you guys, but it actually pays more than the glue down. So, which you don't get paid for the prep as much, but still we get $2.50 for the click and $2 for the glue down. So I myself, I like installing the click better. And yeah, I think as long as it's put down proper, you shouldn't have a problem with it. What, Maddie Lee 85, what would you say is your favorite part about flooring? Probably the satisfactory of just leaving happy customers. This is such a rewarding job. I mean, you can go in someone's house and it absolutely looks like a wreck. And when you walk out at the end of the day, if you do the whole house or whatever, it looks awesome. And people are happy. They're, telling you thank you, good job and stuff. And that's probably my biggest thing about it is I just like to make people happy. It feels really good at the end of the day knowing that you went in there and you done a good job as best as you can and you made the customers happy. That's my favorite part of it, to be honest with you. The money's good in flooring, no doubt about that. A person can make a decent, comfortable living. But if you're not happy with it, money can't buy you happiness. So I just like to make people happy and do the best I can for my customers. Frigiletto, I guess that's how you say it. 2123. Do you have any floating engineered wood videos? I only have the one where I was replacing a plank, and that's actually where I just started doing videos last year, and I didn't get it on that. Whenever I do another one, I will do a video on it. But the only one I have is where I'm replacing the bad plank there. So, Freddie Lopez, have you had any knee or back problems? Not thus far. So far, I haven't. Just the average stuff. Naturally, at the end of the day, actually, whenever I did the Simon's physical therapy here a while back, I would put in so many hours on that job because I could only work on weekends. And it was a pretty good sized job. So I worked like 12 and 15 hours a day trying to get that stuff done for them to be back open for business on Monday. So on that job, I did get fluid on my knee and I had to go to the hospital and get on that. They said it wasn't serious enough to actually pull fluid off, but it did get infected and stuff like that. And the doctor just gave me antibiotics and stuff and told me to stay off of it for a week. So I was out of work for a week because of my knee after that job. But I mean, nothing so serious or nothing. That's actually the only time I have missed work for being injured with knee or back problems or anything like that. So naturally, you do get a little swelling or something like that every now and again on your knees. And I think that just comes with the business. So, but overall, no, I have not. Okay. Trevor Potter, when will be your next live video? Let's see. I'm not sure what to say on that yet. Maybe we might try it again next Sunday night. I might just do a video every Sunday night, if a live feed every Sunday night. We'll see how it goes. So from now, I guess we can plan on that. Maddie Lee 85. Yeah, man, I feel the same way. We do a lot of apartment jobs, and I like taking something that looks good or nasty and wore out and putting new carpet and vinyl. I hear you. It's a good feeling of accomplishment at the end of the day whenever you can leave a place and it looks a whole lot better. It just makes you feel good inside. Andre Ramus, that's how I feel as a subcontractor here in Florida, brother, even though they don't pay as good as some states, but the quality of life pays off. Yes, it does. I absolutely agree with that. Have you found any really good flooring shoes? I have been wearing running shoes because they bend. Yes, exactly. I don't know if you noticed in my videos, I wear running shoes myself. They're like they're Nikes. They're completely fabric on top, no leather or anything, and they have a little bit of extra like rubber laminated tips or something right on the toes, which helps that from wearing out so fast. But I think anybody in floor covering goes through shoes like crazy. I know I have to get new shoes about every 2 months, maybe 2.5 months or something like that. I think that just comes with the territory. They do actually wear, uh, have toe. I don't know how to explain it. The little hard plastic pieces that goes over the toes of your work boots. I'm not wearing work boots doing floor covering because they're bent all the time, and I want something flexible and that feels good whenever I'm on them. I don't want no stiff work boots or anything like that. And Andrea Ramos, I wear Adidas, brother. Those are, let me see here. Oh, that was the end of the comment. I guess he cut off right there in the middle of it. But yeah, definitely I wear soft shoes. If you'll see in my videos, I think every video except for one, and that one I'm actually wearing Converse. I thought I would give them a try because they do have that hard rubber tip on the front, and I thought they would hold up real good. But I only wore them one day because they was absolutely rough to wear. I mean, they was stiff, and they did not. Oh, okay. My wife just corrected me from the other room, and Andrea Ramos said they are a thumbs up. Okay, I got you. I'm a little slow about that kind of stuff, so thank you, Treva, for that. Do you ever attend flooring conventions? Yeah, sometimes I do attend seminars and stuff like that. I actually went to Phoenix here a couple years ago and about engineered wood, and we did a little. The guys up there from Shaw did a demonstration and stuff like that. And I went to a seaming seminar here in Tucson at one of the local um, carpet stores. Whenever they come out with that Life Happens product or whatever it is, the carpet that has plastic on the back of it, I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, they just did a little demonstration and stuff like that on how to seam that and stuff. Really no difference at all. Just using a tape that would melt fast was the only difference that they recommended. Excuse me for that. Andrea Ramos said, "Have you ever did work for Sherwin-Williams floor cover?" No, I have not. Uh, I have seen guys do that, but I personally have not myself. Uh, you should go over states. Freddie Lopez, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm sorry. Harry Diggler. Oh, he's talking to. That's who I sub through. Okay, gotcha. So I hope Sherwin-Williams is. I mean, they do good on other stuff, so I hope they do good on that and treat you guys right. Like I said earlier, all of my places that I've ever worked has just been mom and pop places, family owned businesses. One was Mills Floor Covering and Shelbyville Carpet, wall to wall flooring. That was in Nashville, and Pete Jackson Floor Covering in Manchester. They've just been all mom and pop stores. I just like dealing with people like that rather than the big box stores and stuff like that. You get a lot more respect and stuff like that. Box stores, you're pretty much just a number and somebody that, I don't know. I think you just get treated better from a family owned business. Okay. Andrea Ramos. Yes, I do work for them here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Oh, Freddie Lopez demonstrates for carpet tutorials like Shaw, etc. Let's see, I'm getting a little bit lost here, so if you guys might have to help me out. Harry Diggler, $3.10 a yard for carpet, $9 a yard for vinyl. Do you get paid for floor prep? Okay, I guess he's talking to Harry Diggler. We get paid here, like I said, $3.25 for carpet and $10 for vinyl. And yes, we do get paid here for floor prep. We have a minimum rate if it's under, I think, 300 feet or 250 feet, it is $250. If it's over that, it's a minimum of 600, I think. So vinyl pays really good. I really like doing vinyl here. There ain't a whole lot of guys here that do it. I think that's why it pays so well. King Robert Robert Weisenhunt, King Voyager hiking shoes is #1. Okay, I have to look into that. Maddie Lee 85, one of my favorite jobs that you did was that vinyl look like all stone. Oh, I hear you. As a matter of fact, I was sitting there like in awe. As a matter of fact, that is the job that I went back on my LVP or LVT job. That whole job flooded. The guy was a snowbird. He was out of town. He was up north at the time. That whole job flooded. So I ended up tearing every bit of that out like less than a year later after I installed that. So that sucks because that was a beautiful job. I really like that flooring. Andrea Ramos, yes, LOL. No one wants to do carpet unless it's side job here in Florida. Oh, wow. Okay, vinyl plank floor prep is booming. Here you go. Yeah, vinyl plank is getting this pretty good here too. Vinyl plank does real good here actually. There's always a good job on the schedule coming up with LVP. I really like doing that or vinyl, any solid surface flooring. I think it's kind of ironic that this is my opinion again. Carpet is the hardest when it comes to floor covering, and it pays less than any other flooring. So I would pretty much rather do money wise. I would pretty much rather do anything than carpet. That's money wise. I really enjoy doing carpet though. Carpet is fun to do. So it's kind of up in the air on which I would prefer to do the most. I guess what I enjoy doing more would be carpet, but money wise, it would either be a solid surface LVP or a vinyl, sheet vinyl. So, what Andrea Ramos said, what do you think? Laminate floating floors? I have never been a fan of laminate ever. I was around in the 90s whenever it first come out, and it was called All Lock with the metal tracks on it. Had metal locking devices on on two edges rather than just like a tongue and groove like they got now, and the click together stuff made into the wood. It was actually a metal strip on both sides, and from that time on, I've never liked it. It's real generic stuff. If you ask me, I don't like it at all. It pays okay to lay, and it's not too bad to install, but as far as having it, I don't like it. It's just generic. I mean, if you twist it or something wrong like that, you're going to get little flakes and chips off of it. I guess they got better stuff. The couple of videos I've done in laminate has actually been some decent stuff that's went together pretty good and stuff like that. They have come a long way since it first come out, but I would not install it in my own home. We'll just put it that way. Maddie Lee 85, you're lucky you don't have to deal with snow, wind. I live in Wisconsin, and it's not fun to haul that in and out all day. Yes, I completely agree. I actually, when I lived in Tennessee, I had this funky shaped vinyl job. I don't know if you guys remember Interflex vinyl or not. It was out in the late 90s and stuff. It was made for rough flooring and stuff, so you didn't have to do so much floor prep. It would just glue it and staple it around the edges. So I actually had a weird cut up job of that, and I rolled it out on top of the snow to roll it up long ways to get it in there, and it ended up being like this big around. We had to smash it in like that just to get it through the doors and stuff, because instantly when it hit the snow, it got stiff. As I'll get out, I had to put it in the customer's house and blow a space heater on it for like, I don't know how long before it would get limber enough for me to deal with. So I completely understand, and I am glad I live in Arizona for that reason. Vinyl plank, I absolutely love it. I just like the product. I mean, they got such nice ones now. It would be hard not to like it. I enjoy laying it. I enjoy how it is when it's on the floor. It just looks good. It's really good and durable. I can't say anything bad about vinyl plank, Andre. So definitely like it. I tried to offer my clients vinyl plank looks so much better and easier to clean. Yes, I completely agree. I always try to shun people away from laminate. It's just not a good product. That's my opinion. Robert, using Robert Weisenhunt, using a floor sander at Clark RS16 has made the world of difference in my life. Worth the expense. Yeah, I completely agree. I got a floor sander myself. I use it's an edger. I think it's American something. I can't even remember what it's called now. It's not a Roberts. Oh, yeah, I think it might be a Clark, like you're saying there. Anyway, yeah, definitely you need one of them if you're going to be doing vinyl and stuff. So, yes, especially if they have pets. I completely agree. It's definitely a lot better if the customer has pets to use a LVP or a vinyl plank. Ivan Castro, you should make a video of seams peaking after stretching. Um, to be honest with you, I don't really have an issue with that. Only time you might see it is if you run your seam. If light's coming this way, you want to try to run your seam that way. You don't want to try to run your seam across the light like that. When light comes across your seam, that's what casts a shadow and makes you see it. So if I measure, or even if it's the house is not measured like that, and if I can turn my seams to go with the light in the main portion of the house, I will try to uh, work out my seams where light's not coming across them, just for that reason. Maddie Lee 85. So other than butchering your fingers off that one day, what was your worst injury you ever had? That was my worst one right there. I have had a few. Actually, I don't. Yeah, that was definitely my worst. I actually cut my knuckle right here. I went filleted it all the way around the bone like that. It went from here all the way around like that right there. And when I went outside and ran the water hose over it, my piece of skin just flapped over, and you could see my knuckle just right underneath there. That was from a dull blade in my knife. So let that be a little word of advice there. Always keep a sharp blade. What happened is it got snagged, and I went to jerking on it like that. And when it did come, it just went straight over and hit my bone right there and knocked the knife out of my hand. It hit so hard. So it's always good to keep a sharp blade. And I got myself with a trimmer one time in a weird little spot over here where my carpet trimmer, and again, it was a dull blade, and I was doing that to get it to go. And when, let's see, this finger right there, actually, when it finally went, and then I come back because it scared me because it jerked, and then it come back and cut a V right there out of my finger. So, but the one with my fingertip just here recently is definitely the worst one I ever had. So, alrighty, well, it's been about almost 40 minutes. If there's not any more questions, looks like it's slowing down. Okay. Maddie Lee, when I was into my second week as an installer, I was cutting pad and I skipped it and sliced my leg. Ouch. Of course, they didn't have a medical box in the van, so I had to hot glue it shut. Oh, dang, dude. Dang. That's right. I actually had a guy working with me one time that cut his leg right in the artery there, and it went. I mean, his shoe and everything filled up with blood real fast. What it was, we was cutting up carpet in a mobile home, and he hit a staple in the carpet. When they do mobile homes, they just staple the crap out of the carpet anywhere, and he hit a staple as he was cutting. And when it came through, he was standing like this, and it just came right across his leg right there, and cut his britches and cut a big gap in his leg there. So that, and then another guy that was working for me one time. You guys, if you've seen my video of my tour van, I've had the same style of shelves always. Well, some of my scraper blades came out, and the blade was actually sticking down just like that down the side of my inside of my shelf, and it was underneath. Well, he reached in there, and when he came out, sliced his wrist. It was a scraper, 8-inch scraper blade. So that was a good one, but probably the best one has been where the guy cut his leg real bad. I had to take him to the hospital immediately for that. And the guy that sliced his wrist on the razor blade, I had to take him to the hospital. Subfloors, give me a shout out on YouTube. Okay. Subfloors, I'll check you out. And good to see you guys putting up videos and stuff. So, Maddie Lee, do you think Jerry will ever have a spin-off show? I need to. I don't think so. I don't think so. That was funny. I'll have to tell him about that. Treva, my wife left at that one too. Treva Potter is my wife. There, what we do in our spare time, just since it warmed up, we actually just started doing this again. We was doing it last summer, but we stopped when it got cold. We just build little things and stuff. So, like, I don't know, picture frames, woodworking stuff like that. So, this little tissue, little box right here, just made it today. Or finished it today. I started it yesterday evening, and I like to make that rustic looking stuff. Just a little box to hold your toilet paper and stuff in. So that's what we do. Me and my wife, on spare time, we just like to piddle around with stuff like that. It's picture frames and stuff like that that gets painted. She paints them and stuff. So we have fun doing stuff like that together. I noticed a hump in the middle of the floor of my living room, wondering how hard it would be to fix. It depends on what it is. If it's subfloor, I don't know if if it just happened. It could be your trailer settling, or I don't know, even if you live in a trailer, I don't know. Might have a swelled up board, or I have seen what's that stuff? Carpet Fresh, which I don't know if you use that or not. So, oh, it's concrete. Okay. Wow. Maybe you got a crack in your subfloor then. Did it just now come up, or has it been there like forever? Maddie Lee. Well, you guys do amazing work, man. I love watching everything you do and seeing how you take pride in your work. I have definitely used a lot of tips that you have demonstrated. Thank you. I appreciate that, Maddie. That was real kind of you to say that. And we got a little Facebook page for the woodworking stuff. It's called Tree Root Designs. If you guys want to check that out, you can see what we do in our spare time. And maybe we can start putting some videos up there and stuff, what we're making and woodworking and stuff like that. Joe Mora, yeah, it's been there for a while since I bought it 3 years ago. Okay, if it's been there always, it's probably a crack in your floor, or who knows, it could be a number of things. I just pretty much have to feel it. You can feel if it's soft or if it's hard, if it's definitely a ledge or something. If it's a ledge, then and it's solid, it's probably going to be a crack in your concrete. We see that all the time out here. There's not hardly anything on wood floors out here except for mobile homes and stuff. So everything is concrete, and we always see cracks in the floor. And if they are too dramatic to where they're going to show up, we'll feather them out and float them out and stuff so they're not noticeable. So that might be what you have to do if that is the case. And that's not that hard. You could fold your carpet back and float it out, and then just put your carpet right back over there. You don't even have to completely pull the pad up. You can just take it and fold it back wherever the crack is like that. Fill that part, float it out or whatever, let it dry, and fold your pad back, and then fold your carpet back over and stretch it up. So if you get somebody that knows what they're doing, that's not really too complicated of a job. Excuse me. If you feel comfortable doing it yourself, it's really not that bad. You could rent your stretchers or whatever, unless you go to breaking seams. And if you're not experienced, if you have doorway seams and stuff like that to break, you're probably going to want to hire somebody that is a professional to do that, rather than if you're a DIY person. I don't know your situation, but that's what I would suggest, because pretty much everything else is pretty simple except for the seaming part. If somebody wanted to do that themselves, they could rent stretchers and stretch it back up and stuff. It would not be too hard to do. So I guess it's been about 45 minutes there. I guess I'm going to call it a night. I don't see any more questions coming in. So I hope you guys got some questions answered. I want to thank you guys for joining on and joining me live here. Okay, thank you, Maddie. You guys take it easy. Take pride in your work and do the best you can. Okay. Carpet installers got a bad rap out there, so let's do our part to switch that around. Okay. I won't forget you, subfloors. Thanks for reminding me. I appreciate that. Wow, thanks for the response. I really do appreciate it. You're welcome, Joe, and I hope it helped you out. And to everyone, I want to thank you guys again for joining on, and maybe we'll do this again next Sunday. We'll see how it goes, and y'all have a good night, and God bless y'all. Thank you, Maddie. Let's see here.